Recently, there is a case regarding Aravalli range in Supreme Court, and the recent statement and the definition issued by the Supreme Court is not widely accepted. And why? Because this is not just a legal dispute regarding mining. It is about a constitutional test whether our country is going to allow the oldest mountain range to continue its protection process of expansion of desertification in that region. Today, we will try to have an eagle's eye view regarding this particular case and how this Aravalli range case is related to Godavarman case. Welcome to State of Affairs, brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. So, what is this case related to? Regarding the issues relating to the definition of Aravalli hills and ranges, the court has given a statement with respect to a recommendation issued by a committee spearheaded by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. According to this, the state is directed by the court that they should maintain a uniform definition with respect to Aravalli range. And what does this definition state? The definition states that any relief form which is minimum of 100 meters from the local relief. I am repeating, any relief which is a minimum of 100 meters from the local relief will come under the purview of Aravalli range. So this seems to be a very good definition, but the environmental activists are not accepting it. Why? The reason for this is that the Forest Survey of India is reporting almost 12,081 hills mapped under the Aravalli range. But if this definition comes into picture, this will change. They are stating that only 1,048 hills will meet the definition of 100 meters and will only come under the protection category. The remaining hills will not be protected, opened for mining. So, we have to understand with respect to this concept of local relief. I told you in the definition, from the local relief, if the minimum range is 100 meters. So, what is the issue? The expected definition should have been from the minimum elevation of the state. If it is from the lowest elevation of the state, then this statement would have covered a wide range of region under Aravalli definition. But the definition stated from the local profile. So, you take a particular area. In that particular area, what is the lowest elevation? From that, it should be 100 meters. So, what happens? Out of almost 12,000 hills, only 1,000 qualifies under this definition. This will result in lots and lots of environmental degradation happening, that too in legal manner. So, we have to understand about the Godavarman case. This is a very important case. Why? You have to remember two things when it comes to this Godavarman case, which we are expecting in the preliminary examination also. Point number one. The court has come up with a unique judicial tool called as continuing mandamus. What is continuing mandamus? Continuing mandamus means with respect to a case, the court will not give a final judgment, instead keep the case open. So the case will be open and the court will be issuing continuing order with respect to the receiving report and other identifications. This way, the case will keep evolving and will give the recommendations and the orders with respect to the need of time. So with that particular concept, the Godavarman case is very important with this judicial tool called as continuing mandamus. So under this continuing mandamus, the Aravalli case is also coming under the purview of this particular aspect. The second thing is, this case is very, very important because under this case only, the court has recognized right to clean environment under Article 21, which is right to life with dignity. So, a fundamental right being recognized with respect to environmental aspect, and that is why this case is very important for this examination. So, under this Godavarman case, the court has decided to widely protect the concept of forest. So, what does this Godavarman case say? So, Godavarman case stated that the definition of forest should not be based on the legal recognition, but it should be based on the dictionary definition of forest. I am repeating, the definition of forest or the identification of forest in the country should not be based on its recognition or classification given by the government. It should be based on the dictionary definition of forest. So what? So why should this statement by the court is very powerful? The concept here is, if there is any developmental activity needed, there is a possibility the state might declassify a forest and bring it under revenue land. But because of this, order by the court, the state cannot do this, even if it is declassified from the forest land, and if it is coming under the definition, dictionary definition of forest, still it would have the same protection of the forest land. This will prevent mining. This will prevent degradation. This will give the land the same protection as a forest land, even if it is not classified under the forest. So please refer the three types of classification of forest, where we have reserved forest, protected forest and unclassed forest. This is what I mean declassifying the forest. So that is why Godavarman case is very important. So without prior approval from the central government, a forest land cannot be shifted to a non-forestry purpose. And under that, the court has given many national directives with respect to how to protect a forest land from illegal timber activities, mining activities, etc. Now we have to understand the impact of the statement, that the case fundamentally reshaped the forest governance in India. So in mains, if there is any question regarding forest governance, and this case would be a very good case study, very good example that you can write it in the mains examination. So this case, the Godavarman case, has reshaped the forest governance in our country by asserting a strong judicial oversight and enforcing a precautionary principle. So this way, the forest, though it is coming under the classification of protected or reserved forest or not, it would have the same protection. Now coming back to the Aravalli range, you have to understand with the geography perspective, what is the location of Aravalli range. So one, you can see it is placed in the northwestern part of our country. And one question which you can expect in the prelims is, what are the Aravalli range states? What are the Aravalli range states? So you should remember 4 places. One is the northern part, which is the national capital region of Delhi. Then it passes through Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat, the 4 places. So one, the national capital region of Delhi, and then it passes through Haryana, and then Rajasthan, and then coming to Gujarat. These 4 places are very important. Not passing through Punjab and not passing through Madhya Pradesh. This you should keep it in the mind. You can expect this question, or even they might ask you to arrange it from north to south or south to north. So north to south, I am giving you the arrangement. So you have Delhi, and then you have Haryana, then you have Rajasthan, and then you have Gujarat. So this is the arrangement from north to south. Now, understanding the significance of Aravalli range. Aravalli range has wide significance, not just in the environmental perspective, but in the social and economic perspective also. After all, this is what is sustainable development. We have to cover environmental, economical and social aspect of our country, which will take us to the path of sustainable development. In that aspect, what is the significance of Aravalli range? So this is very important because it is the ancient rocky mountain of our country. It has been formed in the pre-Cambrian era, very much older than the Himalayan mountain ranges. Since it's very older, the continuous erosion of the water body has taken away many parts of the mountain, and today we have the rounded mountain region. And also, it supports many rivers like Luni, Sambal, etc. And also, when it comes to the climatic role, very important, it prevents desertification. It is preventing the expansion of Thar desert into the northern Gangetic plains. This is very important. If Aravalli range is not protected properly, maybe the desert will get expanded. The fertile regions of northern Gangetic plain might be under threat. And then coming to the economical value, we have agriculture, tourism and minerals and mining to be done here. And finally, coming to the ecological importance, very important that it is the house, it is the habitat for the dry deciduous region, dry grasslands, and also important fauna like leopard, sloth bear, then peafowl are all found in this region. So this is not just a concept of environmental aspect, it is protecting the people who are there because it is recharging the aquifer. One very important aspect how Aravalli range can be connected to the right to life here is that point number one, it recharges the aquifer region. It supports the water supply to the Delhi National Capital Region. On the other hand, it actually reduces the pollution in the Delhi National Capital Region. If Aravalli range is under threat, we all know about the air pollution issue in the National Capital Region and this would get worsened. So Aravalli range with respect to the southwest monsoon, you all should understand that it runs parallelly to the direction of the southwest monsoon winds. That is the reason we do not get rainfall in the western part of Rajasthan during the southwest monsoon. For orographic rainfall to take place, the mountain range should be perpendicular to the direction of the southwest monsoon. So you can see here southwest monsoon flows in this direction and we have the Aravalli range parallel to it. So the function of Aravalli range here is to direct the southwest monsoon towards the Himalayas. And does Aravalli range get rainfall during southwest monsoon? Yes, but only the eastern part of the Aravalli range gets the rainfall, not the western part. That is one of the reason we have Thar desert in the western part of Aravalli range. So, what would this 100-meter rule do to this Aravalli range? So, what will happen is the protection range will reduce and this will open the opportunity for mining in this Aravalli region. So, if the protection is lesser, many developmental activities will take place. So, are the developmental activities good? Yes, but if not sustainable, they are going to cause a very big damage in the future. But what is the present condition in the Aravalli range case? So Supreme Court has stated that the state should form a management plan for sustainable mining. Till the management plan for sustainable mining is coming into the picture, all the leases for the mining should be stopped and then the new leases should not be given specifically with respect to the core area and only under special condition with respect to any scientific research mining can be allowed. So this is the recent state. The court has stopped the state from giving new lease regarding to the mining and in core area no mining has to be taking place. It should be banned and only under the special condition with respect to any scientific research mining can be allowed. This is the current status of this Aravalli range case. The definition has been given but the lease has been as of now stopped. We are waiting for a management plan for sustainable mining. Once the management plan for sustainable mining comes into the picture, then we will have even more better clarity regarding this. But is it good? What about this 100-meter definition? What would be the impact? It will increase the desertification risk. The Delhi's national capital region will face even worse air pollution condition and then mining urban expansion, groundwater recharge will be disrupted. Question. Already we have a report stating that in few years, many of the metropolitan cities will have zero groundwater. And even after knowing all those things, if these kind of statements, if these kind of judgments come into picture, what will happen? But what is the substantiation given by the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court is stating that if a uniform definition is not given, then it might pave way for illegal mining. So the court wants to regulate this mining instead of bringing a blanket ban on it. So this is what is the substantiation given by the Supreme Court. But now the environmental activists are asking to redefine this 100-meter rule. So let's see what happens in the future regarding this. There is any question regarding environmental conservation. Recently, the High Court in Tamil Nadu has stated that the animals have no place to go, but human beings have many places to go, which means that we are here along with the other animals and plants, and we are not the only living organism on this earth. Environmental conservation is not a benevolent activity, it is our duty. We are not the only living organism on this earth. We are one among the living organism on this earth. We all should remember there is no planet B. We have only one earth. Thank you so much. Subscribe to our channel for such eagle's eye view perspectives. Thank you.